And now, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, please help me welcome our Femina Miss India Nagaland 2018 and your host for this evening, Rafajana Wiso.
Hello! A very good evening to everyone present here. We're so glad that you could join us this evening. I would want to welcome our live stream audience who are also joining us tonight, our official state beauty organizers who have come all the way from your respective states to be here with us, our beautiful judges who will be joining this jury with us, and of course, the audience who are here. I am Rafajana Wiso, and I will be your host this evening. Before we start, allow me to give you a brief run-through about what Miss Northeast is about. Nagaland has had the honor of being able to host Miss Northeast twice actually. It was held in 1996 and in the year 2004. However, this is the first edition of Miss Northeast initiated by the Northeast Beauty Organization, and the organization was formed in April of this year, and in the same month they held their general meeting. They formed this organization with the hope of unifying and bringing together all the 8 Northeast states of India. They also hoped to give a platform, a legitimate platform, where the name Miss Northeast was true, as all states would come and participate in this pageant. And I think that with all the hard efforts of the office bearers, of the people involved, this has been a possibility. So let's give a huge round of applause to the office bearers and everyone involved for making this. Before we start and before we begin anything, allow me to introduce our judges for tonight. First is a very special judge that we have, our guest judge, Mr. Sagar J. Abhichandani. Mr. Sagar, if you could please stand and face our audience. Mr. Sagar has come all the way from Bombay. He's the proprietor of the Dental Hub and has been involved in many big pageants like Femina Miss India. He's a celebrity dentist and a well-known pageant smile expert. Joining Dr. Sagar in our panel of judges is none other than Nise Merino. If you could please stand and face the audience. He's an international concert artist and has performed for the likes of our Indian president and foreign dignitaries to socialists like Amir Khan and the Ambanis. Thank you, Nise Merino, for joining us tonight. Next is, of course, our own supermodel, Mrs. Catalina Kense Vihenio. She has worked for the likes of Lagme Fashion Week, has been on the covers of Harper's Bazaar, and is a businesswoman herself. Thank you for joining us. And the fourth person joining our panel of judges is the beautiful Mrs. Bambi Kevichisa. If you could please stand up. She's a bridal designer based in Nagaland, and she designs under the label Bambi K and is also the creative head of the newly launched sustainable clothing label Bambi K, and is a member of Bonji Artistry, a model and fashion management company. The fifth person closing our panel of judges is Dr. Teesenyo Keditsu. She's an indigenous feminist, poet, academic folklorist, writer, and educator. Ma'am, if you could please stand up and face our audience. Thank you to our judges for joining us tonight. Alright, so are we ready to get this pageant started? Alright then, we will be getting our first look at the 15 contestants with the first round, that will be the ethnic round. Our contestants will be wearing their respective traditional attires. Our judges are all getting ready and everybody is excited to begin this. So without any further ado, getting your first look in the ethnic future, in the ethnic round, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our 15 contestants on stage. psychologist, and tonight I am proudly representing my beautiful Meghalaya. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ishani Hatimuria, contestant number 10, 25 years of age, and I aspire to become a civil servant. And tonight, I'm proudly representing my beautiful Assam. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nityashri Modak, contestant number 11, 21 years of age, and I aspire to become a supermodel. And tonight, I'm proudly representing my beautiful Assam. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is H. Shanwi, contestant number 12, 20 years of age. I aspire to become a civil servant, and tonight I'm proudly representing my beautiful Mizoram. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sylvia Alapetwi, contestant number 13, 24 years of age, and I aspire to become a successful teacher. And tonight, I am proudly representing my beautiful Mizoram. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Manashadi Visakam, contestant number 14, 16 years of age, and I aspire to become a journalist. And tonight, I am proudly representing my beautiful Manipur. Thank you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Pallavi Gauravam, contestant number 15, 19 years of age. I aspire to become a clinical psychologist, and tonight I'm proudly representing my beautiful Manipur. Thank you.
Miss Northeast 2022 is initiated by Northeast Beauty Pageant Organization, presented by Beauty and Aesthetics Society of Nagaland, sponsored by Government of Nagaland, and driven by Floyd Hyundai Dimapur, Vuto Hyundai, and Anak Hero Motors. Our hospitality partner is Nieto Group Hotels and Resorts, Nune Resort, Nieto Resort, and Hotel Vivor. Our partners are Imprint, Bespoke by Karishma, Nagaland Tribune, Life Pro, Kalos Society, Chakisang Women Welfare Society, Fitzroy Village Council. Furthermore, Cafe Bella, People Jewelry, Symphony Academy of Music, Shadow Resort, The Palm Guest House, Wulokami Artworks, and Tech Build.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our first artist for tonight, Sabino Chuzo.
On.
amazing Sevino Chuzo, ladies and gentlemen. And now, please welcome the guru of fingerstyle guitaring, Zai Shuru.
What a beautiful performance by Zaya Shahu. art comes in all forms and sizes, in the form of music, dance, beauty. So tonight we have so many wonderful performances prepared for you, and that makes this event more special as we add people from varied fields tonight. We have many more prepared, so you can look forward to it. As previously announced, our guest judge for tonight is Dr. Sagar Abhijanani. We are truly very delighted to have you here tonight with us. If you could please come on stage and receive a small token of appreciation from our end. Welcome to Nagaland, Dr. Sagar. To felicitate our guest judge, can we please have Ms. Sarah on stage? Dr. Sagar, if you could please address our audience gathered here tonight.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. They say the first ones are always special. Yes, I truly agree and believe in that. This is my first visit to the Northeast. It's very special because the first visit coincided with a very special event called Miss Northeast 2022. At the outset, I would like to congratulate the beauty pageant organization of the Northeast in welcoming me, in giving me this opportunity, honor and privilege to be here as a guest jury member, seeing the people, getting the love, the hospitality, truly commendable. No wonder they say that the Northeast indeed is the most beautiful part of India. In the last 2 days, I have felt it and experienced it. Once again, thank you to the organizers for having me here. A word of mention to all the state winners whom I had a chance to interact with yesterday for a grooming session. They are truly talented. They have aspirations to really make their state proud and inadvertently make the country proud. It was a very fruitful interaction with them where I also got to learn so many things from them. May the best person win, but remember, my dear friends, you are already state winners. We can only have one winner amongst the other winners. So put your best foot forward and let the best person win. To all the people out here supporting the organization and coming down to make sure this event is a grand success, kudos to taking that first step and making sure this is the first stepping stone for many more benchmarks to come for this organization. Great job, but remember, this is just the first step. The sky is the limit, keep aiming higher. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sagar Sundar. So we are so delighted to hear that you're enjoying your stay in Nagaland, and we hope that you will have many more wonderful visits in Northeast. On behalf of Northeast Beauty Pageant Organization and Beauty and Aesthetic Society of Nagaland, we would like to thank and felicitate our judges. Can we please welcome on stage our judge, Mr. Nise Merino. Thank you for joining us tonight. Can we also have our supermodel, Mrs. Catalina Kense Vigenio, on stage? welcome on stage our very own Bambi Kevichasa. Joining us tonight. Can we also have Dr. Thea Senior Keditsu on stage? Judges will have a very difficult time tonight deciding who will be moving on to top 8, then top 4, and then crowning our winners. It's not going to be an easy job, I must say. Now, we have another round prepared for you. It is the designer round, designed by none other than Kivitoli Chishi. It's inspired by diamonds, in the inspiration of making our ladies stand out and be like diamonds in the rough. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming back on stage our 15 contestants from Miss Northeast 2022.
You better dance, let's make a night you won't remember.
Northeast Beauty Pageant Organization, presented by Beauty and Aesthetics Society of Nagaland, sponsored by Government of Nagaland, and driven by Floyd Hyundai Dimapur, Vuto Hyundai, and Anak Hero Motors. Our hospitality partner is Nieto Group Hotels and Resorts, Lune Resort, Nieto Resort, and Hotel Vivor. Our partners are Imprint, Bespoke by Karishma, Nagaland Tribune, Life Pro, Kalos Society, Chakisang Women Welfare Society, Fitzroy Village Council. Furthermore, Cafe Bella, People Jewelry, Symphony Academy of Music, Shadow Resort, The Palm Guest House, Wulokami Artworks, and Tech Build.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the next artist for tonight, Ethnic Future. And their moves will definitely make you groove. Ethnic Future, ladies and gentlemen.
Mother is love. Mother is life. Mother is harmony. Mother is earth. Mother is all. Mother is rhythm.
and gentlemen, please make some noise for Ethnic Future. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the next artist for tonight, the super talented Ozio Nina.
Let's take our time tonight, girl. Above us, all the stars are watching. There's no place I'd rather be in this world. Your eyes are where I'm lost at. Underneath the chandelier, we're dancing all alone. There's no reason to hide what we're feeling inside right now. So baby, let's just turn down the lights and close the door. Ooh, I love the dress, but you won't need it anymore. No, you won't need it no more. Let's just kiss you naked, baby. Versace on the floor. Ooh, take it off for me, for me, for me, for me now, girl. Versace on the floor. Hey, take it off for me, for me, for me, for me now, girl. I undid the bag to watch it fall while I kiss your neck and shoulders. No, don't be afraid to show it all. I'll be right here ready to hold ya. Girl, you know you're perfect from your head down to your knees. Don't be confused by my smile, 'cause I ain't never been more for real, for real. So just turn down the lights and close the door. Ooh, I love the dress, but you won't need it anymore. No, you won't need it no more. Let's just kiss till we're naked, baby. Versace on the floor. Ooh, take it off for me, for me, for me, for me now, girl. Versace on the floor. Hey, take it off for me, for me, for me, for me now, girl. You guys having a good time tonight? Sing this part with me, alright? It's warming up, can you feel it? It's warming up. It's warming up, can you feel it, baby? Oh, seems like we're ready for more, more, more. Let's just kiss till we're naked. Versace on the floor. Hey, take it off for me, for me, for me, for me now, girl. Versace on the floor. Hey,
Hello. That was Bozio Nidu, ladies and gentlemen, always so charming and enthralling with his performances. Before we move on to our next round, we would now like to call upon all our 8 Northeastern official state beauty pageant organizers under Northeast Beauty Pageant Organization. When your name is called, please step on stage. We would want to felicitate and thank you. Can we have our convener and secretary of the presentation committee come on stage to do the honors? First, we have from Assam, Mr. Shamanga Paroti. Mr. Shamanga is the Assistant General Manager of the Northeast Beauty Pageant Organization. Welcome to Nagaland, sir. Next, we have from Mizoram, our coordinator, Roni Valdrai-Pui. She is joined by Jeremy Honor, a member of the Northeast Beauty Pageant Organization. We welcome our guest from Manipur, Healy Laikambang, the Public Relations Coordinator. From Sikkim, we have Mr. B.J. Suba. He is the Finance Secretary of Northeast Beauty Pageant Organization. Joining Mr. B.J., we have our social media curator, Ms. Anisha Chetri. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest from Tripura, Mr. Gautam, on stage. From Arunachal Pradesh, we have Thai Rocket, the General Secretary of Northeast Beauty Pageant Organization. He is joined by a member, Maye Tabodia. the Media and Information Secretary, Mr. Dominic Savio. From the host state, Nagaland, we have the President of Northeast Beauty Pageant Organization, Mr. Mele Pucho. Mr. Mele Pucho is joined by our very own member, Ms. Kaheli Chopi. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you the members of the Northeast Beauty Pageant Organization. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, you have seen how our contestants shined like diamonds in the sky. They have been grooming themselves for many grooming days, 9 days that they were here with us, and I think they truly were the brightest star in the sky. We will now be moving on to the second designer round, designed by the very talented Lisa Raprio. It is inspired by water. It is graceful, it is elegant, and welcoming back on stage our top 15 contestants of Miss Northeast 2022 for the designer round by Lisa Raprio.
I want you to love me like I'm a hot guy.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Femina Miss India Nagaland 2022, Lovi Awomi. That was our Femina Miss India Nagaland 2022, Lovi Awomi. And now, please welcome our next performer for tonight, singer-songwriter, Abdon Match.
You're moving out of town. I could never understand. that you always had my favorite name. I hope that you know, even if you go, you'll always be my favorite face. Even in the crowd, I see where you are. You'll always be my favorite name. I hate myself for being such a coward. All I had to do was to man up and tell you how I felt. It's too late now when you were on your way. If only I showed up just a day sooner, I could have let you know that you always had my favorite name. I hope that you know, even if you go, you'll always be my favorite face. Even in the crowd, I see where you are. You'll always be my favorite name. I hope that you know, even if you go, you'll always be my favorite face. Even in the crowd, I see where you are. You'll always be my favorite name.
Please make some noise for Abdon Match, people. And now, please welcome the girl who slays every time with her guitar skills. Please make some noise for Imna. That was Inna Inla, ladies and gentlemen. Up next, we have an artist who has traveled all the way from Mizoram to perform for us tonight. Please welcome Nenoi.
This is brave, this is Bruce, this is who I'm meant to be, this is me. The galaxy rocker, emerging onto the beat I drum. Scared to be seen, I make no apologies, this is me. Send the blood to drown it out. This is me.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Nunui, who came all the way from Mizoram to perform for us. And Mizoram is known for its musicality, and I say we truly got a taste for that with this performance. We will be following this up with the evening gown round, my personal favorite. All the 15 ladies will be walking out in the color red, symbolizing femininity, strength, courage, determination. And the red also signifies the unity of the 8 Northeast states who came together tonight. They will be serenaded by the very talented Megu Shokri and Obed. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming back on stage our 15 contestants for the evening gown round. Aren't our 15 contestants looking gorgeous? Alright, this side is more responsive. Can we hear it again? Aren't our 15 contestants looking gorgeous? Lovely. You have seen the grace, the beauty, and the elegance of our 15 contestants standing before you. Now it is time to judge if there is wit to their beauty as we begin our interview round. In this round, all of the 15 contestants will get the opportunity to answer a question each, and this will also be the final time they can impress the judges before we announce the top 8. Can we have the questions, please? We will now start the interview round with the first contestant, contestant number 1. Please come and join me. Contestant, please pick your question. Contestant number 1 has picked the question. In what role does a man add most to a woman? A father, son, or a partner? Why?
Thank you for the question. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, once again. According to me, every role plays a very important part in our woman's life. However, to me, my father played the most important role in my life. Why? Because he has been the source of support system to me. He has always been there for me, encouraging me, and he has always been the one that was always there, believing in me that I can do this, and for which I am here tonight. And though my dad is not here anymore with me, I believe that he's looking down on me from heaven, and I miss him the most right now. I love you, Dad. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 1. Can we have contestant number 2 join me? Contestant number 2, please pick your judge. Contestant number 2, here is your question. If you win tonight, how will you use your title to help others? Would you want me to repeat the question? Very well.
A very good evening once again. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, judges. If the prestigious crown happened to sit on my head tonight, then I would start by being the inspiration of the youth, and also I will spread awareness on child labor and child abuse, because I believe children are the most important resource of our society, and they are meant to learn and not earn. Me coming from India, the most populated country in the world, the lack of child support, especially in our places like India, have made me realize that we should all come together to create a space where our children can feel safe and where they will be provided the basic right to education. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 2, for the beautiful answer. Can we now have contestant number 3? Contestant number 3, here is your question. What do you like most about pageantry?
Thank you for your question. Good evening, everyone. Well, I believe that pageantry provides us with beautiful opportunities
It provides us with opportunities from where we can be the voice of the voiceless, where we can empower, uplift and educate the most deprived, the vulnerable and the depressed section of our society. People believe that a pageantry is just about glitz and glam, but I say pageantry is not only about that. Pageantry is about helping people in order to help themselves. Thank you.
Can we now have contestant number 4 join me? Contestant number 4, please speak your question. Contestant number 4, here is your question. Do you think plastic surgery is a good option for people who do not have natural good looks?
Thank you so much for your question, ma'am. Once again, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I believe there is nothing wrong with plastic surgery just because we all know and we should accept us the way we are. But still, if we are having a chance to make a beautiful change in ourselves, then plastic surgery is never a bad option. Thank you so much.
Thank you, contestant number 4. Can we now have contestant number 5 join me? Contestant number 5, please speak your question. Contestant number 5, here is your question. If you could say one thing to all the young women in our city, what would you tell them?
Thank you for your question, ma'am. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If I had privilege to say one thing to all the women in the city, I would definitely tell them that we are living in a modern and a fast world, but we are drifting apart from our culture. So I would remind them that our culture is our identity and we should cherish this for a lifetime. Thank you.
Thank you for that answer. Can we now have contestant number 6? Contestant number 6, here is your question. What are the advantages and disadvantages of today's youth using technology?
Thank you for the question, ma'am. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that the technology has, of course, made our life easier. We literally have the world at our fingertips, but at the same time, it makes it easier to get lazier, and we go and overly dependent on the technology that was created to be a tool. So, I would say that let this tool be just a tool. Let us use it. Let us not let it rule us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, contestant number 6, for your beautiful answer. Can we now have contestant number 7 join me? Contestant number 7, here is your question. What is your biggest fear and why?
Thank you, ma'am, for the question. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My biggest fear is if I lose myself once again, my self-confidence. I don't want to lose it. And everyone don't want to lose their self-confidence. Thank you for the question. Thank you once again.
Thank you, contestant number 7, for that lovely answer. Can we now have contestant number 8? here is your question.
Do you think that the youth today face more pressure than the previous generation?
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your question. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I do think the youth of today are facing a lot of pressure, and the biggest pressure they are facing is the making of their life choices. They are pressured heavily by peer pressure and the pressure of their parents. So I suggest that we must all take a step further and let our youth be passion-driven and never be inclined with a regular 9-to-5 job. They have to be the leaders of their dreams and of their lives. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant 8, for the beautiful answer. Can we now have contestant number 9? Contestant number 9, here is your question. What does it mean to be a modern woman?
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the question. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that being a modern woman is not someone who is just modern in her looks and in her beauty, but someone who remembers God and someone who inspires others women and someone who finally is financially independent. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you for the answer. Contestant 9. Can we have contestant number 10 join me? Contestant number 10, please speak your question. Contestant number 10, here is your question. Do you prefer a love marriage or an arranged marriage, and why?
Thank you so much for the question, ma'am. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. When it comes to marriage, I think there are 3 most important qualities that I look for: love, trust, and teamwork. And without them, I don't think the marriage is complete. So it doesn't matter to me whether the marriage is love marriage or arranged marriage. Thank you so much.
What an exciting answer. Thank you, contestant 10. Can we now have contestant number 11? Contestant number 11, please speak your question. Contestant number 11, here is your question. What qualities should a woman possess to make a notable difference in the world?
Thank you so much for the question, ma'am. Once again, a very warm good evening, one and all assembled here. To make a notable difference in the world, women should be financially independent and should be strong enough to make a voice and stood for herself to live in this world. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 11. Can we now have contestant number 12? Contestant number 12. This is your question. Who is the most inspiring person in your life and why?
Thank you so much for the question, ma'am. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The most inspiring person in my life is, yes, of course, my mother, because she carries me in her womb for 9 months, and her love and her trust for me, I don't think that I could never get that from another person. And if I were to be born, I would love to born as her child again, as her daughter. Thank you so much.
What a beautiful answer, contestant number 12. Can we now have contestant number 13? Contestant number 13, here is your question. Is career more important to you than family?
Thank you for your question, ma'am. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For me, my career is more important than my family. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 13. Can we now have contestant number 14? Looking lovely, contestant number 14. Please speak your question, excuse me. All right, contestant number 14. Here is your question. How would you define your state? Give 3 facts that make your state popular.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the question. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My state is known as the Jewel of India. It is the second paradise in earth. And if I have to describe 3 things about my state, then we should always remember that it is the mirror of Northeast, since it has the Loktak Lake, the only freshwater lake in the northeastern part. And we have the various rare and different and various and rare fauna and flora in our state. The Sangay, the Sirui lily plays a great important role in the world. And lastly, we have the Ima market, the only market in the world which is solely run by the woman. Thank you so much.
Thank you, contestant number 14. It makes us want to visit Mayapur, and we will surely do it very soon. Our last and final contestant for tonight, can we have contestant number 15 join me? Contestant number 15, here is your question. How would you define success?
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your question. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. To me, success is not building about skyscrapers in our surroundings, but it's about building good thoughts and intention with ourselves and helping others to do the same is the success to me. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 15. Ladies and gentlemen, you have now heard all our top 15 contestants. They have spoken their minds, and it is now up to our judges to decide who moves on to top 8. Until then, I will see you next when I have the results of the top 8 in my hand.
Northeast 2022 is initiated by Northeast Beauty Pageant Organization, presented by Beauty and Aesthetics Society of Nagaland, sponsored by Government of Nagaland, and driven by Floyd Hyundai Dimapur, Vuto Hyundai, and Anak Hero Motors. Our hospitality partner is Nieto Group Hotels and Resorts, Lune Resort, Nieto Resort, and Hotel Vivor. Our partners are Imprint, Bespoke by Karishma, Nagaland Tribune, Life Pro, Kalos Society, Chapisam Women Welfare Society, Fifth Surmi Village Council. Furthermore, Cafe Bella, People Jewelry, Symphony Academy of Music, Shadow Resort, The Palm Guest House, Wulogami Artworks, and Tech Build.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our next artist for tonight, Nurhay Khatib. the ever-charming Nore Kate, ladies and gentlemen. Our next artist is none other than Miss Northeast Arunachal Radhe, and she's going to recite a poem for all of us written by her. Radhe, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Radhe Mamo, and tonight I will be performing a poetry that I wrote recently. I started writing when I was 9, but only recently have I started to call myself a writer. This poem I'm going to share tonight is called Father Loves Me Best, and I believe that this shows the duality in the relationship between a parent and a child. So I present to you Father Loves Me Best. Father loves me best in the way his tone softens when I'm around, and in the way he would look at me, watching me be with wonder in his eyes. Father loves me best, he says, don't worry about anything, little girl. And I know not to, because I have learned from him to not worry ever. Even when the world is crashing down on him, his shoulders punctured a bouquet of arrows, their tails fluttering in the pride defying and crushing down the kind of soul. Father loves me best. His heart breaks when I shout at him, rebuke him for his drunken slur. He wishes he could go deaf and hear them all. But Father never knew me. I have a sharp brain and a sharper tongue, and I cannot refrain lending a word or two. Just like the arrows the world shoots, faster and sharper though. Father loves me best, but he reeks of destruction to my ideals of double standards, his mind pickled in patriarchy, the kind of man I hate the most. Father loves me best, and I know not how to hate him. Thank you.
That was Radhe, ladies and gentlemen. And now, please welcome the next artist who is known for his powerhouse singing, Pageant.
led the way for us. Expresarnos, perdonarnos, es un tesoro, gran regalo. Solo importa tu amor, dámelo. Aquí estoy. La puerta mayor está en el amor, es interior. La meta está lejos, verás mostrarlo por el corazón. La puerta mayor es interior. La meta está lejos, verás mostrarlo sin razón. Con el
That was Pageant, ladies and gentlemen. His performances are always so moving and powerful. Now, welcoming back on stage all our 15 contestants before we declare our top 8. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming back on stage all our top 15 contestants before we announce our top 8 contestants moving on to compete for Miss Northeast 2022. To you the top 15 contestants of Miss Northeast 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, before we declare our top 8, we must declare our subtitles. And to crown our winners, can we have our 2 judges, Dr. Stacey Kaditsu and Mr. Nise Merino, on stage to felicitate our winners. I also call upon Mrs. Benedum Singson Howlai. She's Miss Nagaland 2014 and Miss Northeast Jewel Queen 2016. Before we declare for all our contestants. There will be a gift hamper worth up to 10,000 courtesy of Dr. Sagar gifted to all the contestants tonight. Alright, let me take out who wins all subtitles. We have 6 subtitles for tonight: Miss Beautiful Skin, Miss Multimedia, Miss Talent, Miss Photogenic, Miss Perfect 10, Queen of Hearts. We begin our subtitle with Miss Beautiful Skin. Miss Beautiful Skin is sponsored by Tech Build. She will be receiving gift hampers from Mula Akami and also gift hampers from Bipenopuro. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Beautiful Skin subtitle goes to contestant number 14, Miss Manasha Devi. Can we have Mr. Merino crown our subtitle winner? Congratulations once again, Miss Manasha, for winning the subtitle of Miss Beautiful Skin. Our next subtitle is Miss Multimedia, and Miss Multimedia is sponsored by Anak Hero Motors. She will be receiving gift hampers from Mula Akami and also gift hampers from Bipenopuro. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Multimedia goes to contestant number 5, Dinah Jomo. It was a very close call between the contestants. Can we have Dr. T. Sinyon to crown our winner? Once again, congratulations to Miss Dinah Jomo for winning the subtitle of Miss Multimedia. Our third subtitle for the night, Miss Talent, goes to contestant number 10, Miss Ishani. To crown our Miss Talent, can I please request Mrs. Benedict to do the honors? Miss Talent is sponsored by Mr. Louis Major Sekose. She receives gift hampers from Mula Akami and Bipenopuro. Our fourth subtitle for the night is Miss Photogenic, and it goes to contestant number 10, Miss Ishani. Please come back on stage to receive your subtitle. Can I please request Mr. Lise Merino to crown our winner? Miss Photogenic is sponsored by Furthermore. She receives gift hampers from Mulu Akami and Vipena Puro. Once again, congratulations, Mrs. Shani. We now only have 2 more subtitles. And we have Miss Perfect 10. And it goes to contestant number 9, Miss Irene Ducker. Can I please request Dr. Tay Senior to do the honors? Miss Perfect 10 is sponsored by Bespoke by Karishma. She walks away with gift hampers from Mulu Akami and Vipena Puro. Congratulations to Miss Irene Tucker. Our last and final subtitle is Queen of Hearts, and it was decided by the contestants themselves on who deserved the title of Queen of Hearts. And the subtitle of Queen of Hearts goes to contestant number 2, Lika Chopi. Can I please request Mrs. Venenen to crown our winner? Queen of Hearts is sponsored by Bespoke by Karishma. She walks away with gift hampers from Mulu Akami and Vipena Puro. Thank you, judges. Thank you, Mrs. Venenen. Ladies and gentlemen, now that we have concluded Miss Subtitles, we are going to go to the most awaited time, the results of who moves on to compete for the prestigious title of Miss Northeast 2022. Can I have the results from Miss Top 8 that are moving on to compete? All right, I see some familiar names. I hope that the contestant that you're supporting moves on to compete in the competition. The first contestant that moves on to top 8 is contestant number, any guesses? I hear a lot of guesses, and there are some of them, don't worry. But first we start with contestant number 9, Miss Irene. The second contestant joining Miss Irene is contestant number 10, Miss Ishani. The third contestant joining the top 8 is 3, Miss Subeksha. The fourth contestant moving on to take a spot in the top 8 is contestant number 1, Miss Kawi Maningsilio. The fifth contestant that takes the spot in the top 8 is contestant number 6, Miss Rade. The sixth contestant that takes the spot in the top 8 is contestant number 14, Miss Manasha. Only 2 more spots left to go before we close top 8. The 7th contestant moving on to top 8 is contestant number 5, Miss Dinah Jubal. The last and final candidate that closes the top 8 positions is contestant. She's a contestant for Mizoram. Contestant number 12, Miss H. Lalhaipur. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you your top 8 for Miss Northeast 2022. Contestants will now have the time to have an interview round with our 5 judges. Can I please have the judges' names, please? Can we start with contestant number 6? Please pick your judge name. Contestant number 6 has picked Judge Mrs. Cataleno.
Hello. Hello, my dear. Congratulations. You look lovely tonight.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
My question for you is, what is the role of youth towards the future development of the country?
Thank you so much for the question, ma'am. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The youth are the future. They are the future of the nation themselves. So I believe that the youth should inspire each other, lift each other up, and raise voice for the causes that matters. Thank you so much.
Our contestant has picked the judge, our designer, Ms. Bambikevich-san.
Hey, Manasha.
Hello, ma'am.
How are you? Are you having a good time?
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. My question for you is this. What would you say is the biggest problem facing our educational system today and why?
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the question. Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. In my opinion, the biggest issue that are facing by our educational system is that instead of leading the students and everyone showing the creativeness, they are forcing them to learn by heart. They are using the learning of rote learning, that is mugging off by heart. And I strongly believe that if we keep on moving like this, then we won't be able to show our creativeness and to show the world who we are. So I really want to change this system, and instead of just learning by heart, let us try to make us focus more on how to express ourselves and how to make a student to show his creativeness. Thank you so much.
Thank you, contestant number 14, Miss Manasha. Can I please have Miss Dinah Jogo, contestant number 5? Contestant number 5, you have picked the judge, Dr. Tay Sinyo.
Good evening, Dinah.
Good evening, ma'am.
It looks like we're destined to be interacting during this pageant.
I'm feeling honored, ma'am.
Congratulations, Dinah.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
The question I want to ask you is, it has been shown that men who admit to having children in a job interview are looked on more favorably. Yet when women do the same, they are looked on less favorably. Why do you think this is?
Thank you for your question, ma'am. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I believe this is happening due to the narrative we are living in, that raising a child and bearing a child is a woman's job. But when man does it, it is seen that an extraordinary thing, rather than a father carrying his responsibility about their families. Thank you.
Contestant number 12 has picked... Okay, that was a difficult one to open. Contestant number 12 has picked the judge, Mr. Nise Meridol.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Welcome to Nagaland.
Thank you so much. I'm
So-
feeling so great here.
I'm glad to hear that. So this is your question. According to you, what are the steps or measures needed to eradicate poverty?
Thank you for your question, sir. Good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. I think to eradicate poverty, we should accelerate economic growth in our country, and that can be done by accumulating compound things and increasing labor efficiency, and by technological advancement that can only be done. And economic growth can also be the steps taken by the government, and we ourselves can do that by doing our jobs greatly. As a student, we should study well, and as a teacher, we should teach well. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 12. Contestant number 1, please pick your judge. Contestant number 1 has picked the judge, Dr. Sagar.
Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
You have a lot of support. So you better answer the question also based on the support you have.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
The question for you is, how different would the world be if women ruled the world?
Thank you, sir, for the question. Good evening, Notice. If women were to rule the world, I believe that the world, if the word ruled, if it means influence, I believe that we women are naturally God-gifted to influence our home, our family, and a society as a whole. So I believe that if the word influence means kind, love, and compassion, I believe that the world will be at peace and it will be a better place for all of us to live in. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 1. Contestant number 3, please pick your judge. Contestant number 3 has picked the judge, Bambi Kevichisa.
Hi, Sumeksha.
Hi, ma'am.
Okay, my question for you is this. What is your greatest strength and how did it help you to become one of the finalists tonight?
Thank you for your question, ma'am. Good evening, everybody, once again. Well, I believe that my greatest strength is my confidence. Because I believe that confidence is the key to success. I am beautifully confident, and that's what led me the top 8 finalists for Miss Northeast 2022. Thank you.
Contestant number 10 has picked the judge, Mrs. Kathleen Kense.
Hello, Miss Shani.
Hello, ma'am.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling a little nervous, but also very excited.
Okay, that's wonderful. My question for you is, has personal interaction taken a back seat because of social networking sites?
Thank you so much for the question. Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I think personal interaction has definitely taken a backseat because of social networking. There used to be a time when we all used to sit together and eat food, share our meals, share our thoughts. But now, while eating, we are rather busy on our phones. While technology is making our lives easier, it is also making us lazier. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 10. Contestant number 9 has picked the judge, Mr. Lise Merino.
Good evening, Miss Irene.
Good evening, sir.
So this is your question. There is a group of people who do not support the concept of beauty contests. What will you tell them?
Thank you so much, sir, for the question. I believe that it's all right for people to not support everything, to have their own perspective and misconception about things. But what I would like to tell them is to try to think positively, look at things positively, and try to support our youth for the betterment of themselves and for the betterment of our country. Thank you so much.
And that was it for the interview round with the top 8 contestants vying for Miss Northeast 2022. Only 4 will be chosen from the top 8 to move forward to compete. The judges will now have a very, very difficult time because all of them are equally qualified. However, we must pick the winner. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you the top 8 of Miss Northeast 2022. Ladies, you may take the final walk.
Miss Northeast 2022 is initiated by Northeast Beauty Pageant Organization presented by Beauty and Aesthetics Society of Nagaland, sponsored by Government of Nagaland, and driven by Floyd Hyundai Dimapur, Vuto Hyundai, and Anak Hero Motors. Our hospitality partner is Nieto Group Hotels and Resorts, Nune Resort, Nieto Resort, and Hotel Vivor. Our partners are Imprint, Bespoke by Karishma, Nagaland Tribune, Life Pro, Kalos Society, Chakisan Women Welfare Society, Putsoromi Village Council. Furthermore, Cafe Bella, People Jewelry, Symphony Academy of Music, Shadow Resort, The Palm Guest House, Ulogami Artworks, and Tech Build.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our next artist, Jaime. And they have all the slithering moves when it comes to dancing. Please welcome Jaime. Ladies and gentlemen, please make some noise for Jaime. Up next, please welcome on stage the man with the golden voice, Ikato Tamam.
can show you the way. Shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you wonder by wonder, over sideways and yonder on a magic carpet ride, a whole new world, fantastic point of view. No one to tell us no, or where to go. I say we're born dreaming a whole new world, a dazzling place I never knew. Going away up here, it's crystal clear, and now I'm meeting a whole new Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give one more round of applause for the Katotamang, ladies and gentlemen. And now, please welcome the next artist for tonight, the beautiful Atsila.
Thank you, Asala, for the beautiful song. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have the results for the top 4 in my hand. The competition was getting tougher and tougher, and our judges had to really put their hands together to decide who among the top 8 would move on to the top 4. But before we announce the results, can we please welcome back on stage the top 8 contestants from Miss Northeast 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have any guesses on who will be first called out to take a spot in the top 4? Any guesses, ladies and gentlemen? No? Alright. We have first contestant to move to take a spot in the top 4 is contestant number 9, Miss Irene Number from Meghalaya. The second contestant moving on to top 4 is contestant number 10, Miss Ishani from Assam. The third contestant moving on to top 4 is also coincidentally contestant number 3, Miss Subeksha Pradhan from Sikkim. The last contestant that joins the top 4 is contestant number 5, Miss Naina Jomo from Arunachal Pradesh. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now have the common answer question round for our top 4. One common answer will be asked to each of our ladies. However, while the question is being asked, the other 3 ladies will have their hearing muffled. Contestant number 9, are you nervous? Can we have the mics from Miss Irene? Are we ready with the headpieces? All right. Our 3 ladies have their hearing muffled. They cannot hear anything right now. So Miss Irene, here is your question. If you had a chance to discuss a social issue with world leaders, what social issue would it be and why?
Thank you so much, ma'am, for the question. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If I had a chance to discuss a social issue with the world leaders, I think I would go for the mental peace of the youth. It is high time that we cater to the mental illness to fight against anxiety and depression. And I want to be that social figure for them. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Are you ready to receive your question? Yes. Contestant number 10. All right. Contestant number 10, here is your question. If you had a chance to discuss a social issue with the world leaders, what social issue would it be and why?
Thank you so much for the question. Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The one social issue that I would discuss with the world leaders would be women's safety. I think women are not safe within their own barriers of their home. And self-defense and legal rights are the very founding stones for a safety of a woman, and these are very important for any society. Thank you.
Thank you, contestant number 10. Beautiful answer. Contestant number 3, here is your question. If you had a chance to discuss a social issue with the world leaders, what social issue would it be and why?
Thank you for your question once again. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I was born and brought up in country India, where I believe that one of a major social issue is poverty. It makes me feel sad that seeing children who are deprived, exploited and vulnerable not getting an education. And I feel that education is one of a major issue education is one of a major thing that we need to provide to the children in order to make our society better. So therefore, the one social issue that I would like to talk about to the political leaders of our country is about poverty. If we as individuals can come together and talk about these social issues, then I believe that this country would be a better world for everybody to live in. Thank you.
As the last contestant to receive her question, are you nervous, Ms. Diamond?
A little bit. I mean, excited too.
It's good to be nervous. Contestant number 5, here is your question. If you had a chance to discuss a social issue with the world leaders, what social issue would it be and why?
Thank you for your question, ma'am. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If I had privilege to speak in front of all the world leaders, I would definitely address the inconsistency in healthcare in our Northeast, because my heart aches to see when someone is severely ill or diagnosed with some complicated disease, she or he is referred to outside of the Northeast. I'm very fortunate that my parents can afford it, but what about the poor people, the underprivileged one? I think we should start talking about it. Thank you.
Powerful answer, contestant number 5. Ladies and gentlemen, you have now heard the top 4 and their answers. Now it is up to the judges to decide who wins Miss Northeast 2022. Judges, you may now commune to decide who will be the winners for today's pageant. While our judges are making the difficult decision on who wins, let us now have a beautiful performance by Vikri and KK Tepa.
The trick, अभी फाइनल राउंड चल रहा है पता नहीं कितना देर
I found you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please make
chosen from the
Ladies and gentlemen, our next artist is well known for his song, Nimok Power. Please make some noise for ZT Slingshot.
Hey, 79717 representing. Let's get this on, I'm the chicken box on the real let the rock loud noise for the chefs, applause for the rappers, climbing up the hills to those the beats, killing and pulling with my skills. Homies gotta cheat, I gotta do the kids, can't do the chit chat. Bring out the man, pull out my dad. Dance gotta sweat yourself, and it's moment to be perfect. Stay blessed and embrace this grace, all embrace by the fair place. Straight from the beat town, I saw the green down. Long as that a big dude, what's up the rules to make a claim, red down the streets with a quick clap. No AK, I'm TK, straight to base, H, swatting from the Hall of Fame, see the steam shot. Take the wrong, don't forget about the team fame, ain't never gonna be the same. What up, baby? No, never to be blown. Take my pound, put the name of Beverly. Born in Nagaland, born and raised of gifted talents. Wanna make it narrow, you will never swallow. Shallow, wanna fly up like a sparrow. Where's that arrow? Yeah. Surrounded by text, never seen, never watch. The sweets and there, now some people like me. Bomb with the girls, nice, like a mother girl. There was fuck of with selections, nice looking up my deceptions. Dark side was a trap to be down, to be living life was a mess, striving for success. Never believe on the bright side, all I do was hide, something is not me dying. No shit fits to hide, like the no shit couldn't through my other side. Temptation was like a ride, through the each day, and I couldn't pay, cause my life never died, it's no lie. Never hit the goal, though, it's cool, though, take the show, looking from below for the slow-mo. Don't get the flow, bless me like a hot dog and a hot day. Full Sahara, just like my drums, through it twice, and where's red man? Deserted the trespass, like a headband with a rubber band, brushing the colors with a sketch pen. Man going down to an anomaly, no budget, lost their project, ain't got no concept, in the conquest and contest. Without a doubt, without a shout, open me out, let me out like an option. Someone grab the jam, make a pair, preparing comfort, flow black, no jack, is the rest of the check. Always wanna be the hero, looking for a zero. I'll come back as Zorro, ATV coming out of Captain, let's go with the lights, up and with the carpet, looking for a listing on the land, this is slingshot, Baby slipping on me, busting like volcano. Dynamic, call me a manic to ease the panic. Do the half a night, give a high five, make them move just to be improved. Names to be had, sleep at it.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was ZT Slingshot with his energetic performance. Alright, we have been waiting for this moment since we sat down for this pageant. Our contestants have been at work for the last 9 days. They've had grooming classes, they have etiquette lessons, they have ramp walk lessons. They went for a cultural exchange at Fitzroy where they were welcomed by 500 students and they had a wonderful day and of course their fair share of rehearsals as well. Ladies and gentlemen, for the final time, welcome on stage our top 15 candidates of Miss Northeast 2022. We are reminded of all the people who have been hard at work behind the scenes, working to make this event a possibility and a success. And thus, let us welcome the official choreographer of tonight's Miss Northeast 2022, Mr. Tejo Sekose, on stage. Welcoming on stage our official designer for Miss Northeast 2022, Miss Kivitoli Chishi. Miss Kivitoli Chishi was the first designer for the first round where she designed the dresses inspired by diamonds. Our second designer for the night is Miss Lisa Rubrio. Miss Lisa Rubrio designed for the second designer round, inspired by water. Ladies and gentlemen, welcoming on stage Benny Leggett and her team. They are the makeup team who have worked hard to make all our ladies so beautiful tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our show director, Mr. Mele Pucho. sure we are all anxious to know the results. So without further ado, can our top 4 contestants please step forward? I request our 3 judges, Dr. Sagar, Mrs. Catalina Kensi, and Ms. Bambikevichus are on stage to sash our winners. I also request Ms. Lovi Awomi, Femina Miss India Nagaland 2020-2022 to crown our winner. As we get ready to first crown our second runners-up, it has been a wonderful night ahead for all of our ladies before us. And without further ado, the second runner-up position of Miss Northeast 2022 goes to contestant number 5, Miss Dinah Jomo from Arunachal Pradesh. I please request Ms. Bami Kinchasa to sash our winner. The second runner-up is sponsored by Anand Hero Motors. She will receive gift hampers from Peter Kezevito, proprietor of Shedu Resort. She will also receive flowers sponsored by Benapuro. Once again, congratulations to Miss Dinah Jomo for winning the second runners-up of Miss Northeast 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, 3 people left, yet only 2 spots remain. Without further ado, first runners-up goes to contestant number 10, Miss Ishani Hatimuria from Assam. Can I please request Mrs. Catalina to sash our winner? Miss Northeast first runners-up is sponsored by MLA Income Institute. He receives gift hampers sponsored by Pete Casemito, proprietor of Shedu Resort. She also receives a bouquet of flowers from Bipinapuro. Ladies and gentlemen, are we excited to know who our Miss Northeast 2020 is? Alright, so without holding you in suspense any longer, allow me to announce Miss Northeast 2022 is contestant number 9, Miss Arunachal from Meghalaya. Can I please request Dr. Sagar to sash our winners? Can I request Miss Lovi Awomi to crown our winner? Miss Northeast 2022 is sponsored by Ford Hyundai, Budo Hyundai, and she receives gift hampers sponsored by Pete Kezifikyo, proprietor of Shady Resort. She also receives flowers from the Benapuro. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting to you your Miss Northeast 2022. Ladies, please take your first walk as winners of Miss Northeast 2022. All the rest of the contestants to join our winners on stage. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us tonight. We will see you next year at Miss Northeast 2023, going to be held at Sikkim. Ladies and gentlemen, have a wonderful night ahead. Can I please request the judges to come up on stage for a photo shoot with our winners? Once again, I repeat, can we have our judges up on stage for a photo shoot with our winners?
I request all the
Do you dream to become a reporter?
Or want to be a news anchor?
Your dreams can be a reality now.
Grab the chance to serve your state as a journalist.
Send your CV to cvdy365@gmail.com.
Call us at 7099033602.
Join the fastest growing news network of Nagaland.
Keep watching Nagaland.